What's up? Welcome to Beyond the Pain! And I'm your host, Chris Trovador. What's up? It was a little hard for me to say it this time. Why is God like? You know what? I'm not even gonna start again. I'm just gonna go because that's what the universe is telling me to do. Is just go. All right, y'all. Today we have a great episode. I'm telling you because it's one of my good homies. But before that, I need to let y'all know that I created this podcast YouTube series to highlight the stories that go beyond people's tattoos, beyond the pain that they had to suffer and endure to get a piece of art that will last forever. And me as a tattoo artist and as a comedian and as a director and as a writer, okay, you get the point. I have made some amazing connections, and tonight I have a best friend that I made a connection back in high school, and we have gone to LA and back on dreams. So I want to introduce my friend who is an amazing cinematographer. He is an amazing influencer, culture connoisseur, a good homie. Give it up for my friend, Fletch Power. Hey!
What up, man? You know, I had to walk in on that, boy.
Luckily for my improv chops, I thought you were just gonna go in, but I felt it.
I was waiting for the cue. I was like, "Oh, where my cue at? I need the theme music."
Guys on set, can we get this? Can we get this right? Jeez, what am I paying you for? What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Appreciate
How you doing
in your world.
Absolutely. Welcome to Beyond the Pain.
Beyond the Pain.
Yeah, man. I am a big fan of your work as a friend and as a fan of cinematography, film, art in general. And I am so happy to show the world your story.
That's dope. That's dope. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm glad to share it. And, thanks for the invite.
How you doing? Everything good? Everything good? How you doing? Yeah. No, I'm asking you for real.
Yeah. No. Honestly, it was funny because as you said that, I guess Siri responded once again because I just said her name, so she keeps responding and she like keeps taking over. But yeah, man, everything is good, man. Learned a lot through COVID. Got fired, got hired. Just living these dreams, these LA dreams, and we fall, we get back up, and
that fall and get back up is such a crucial part of that learning and going and chasing your dreams, in my opinion.
No, yeah, because honestly, like falling is good, man. You gotta fall. Like it sucks because some people they don't want to fall. They just want to like make it through and be like, oh shit, like I'm skating through, no falls. Mm-hmm. But eventually you're gonna slip and fall. And you rather, it be like early on in your career or whatever you're pursuing rather than, when you're like 5-10 years in and then you slip and fell then because that slip and fall it's gonna crack some bones.
Right. I think we definitely did that when we, as young kids, we weren't that young. It was early 20s. Early 20s to take the risk and hop on over to Los Angeles.
Yeah. You remember when I was telling you? I was like, yo, let's go to LA. You were like, nah.
I don't know about all that.
About all that. I'm like, bro, you're like, what we gonna do? I'm like, I don't know, but we gonna do it. I'm like, just see the possibilities. Like,
for those that don't know, Fletch was the captain for the idea for me to pursue comedy in another place, right? In the Mecca, one of the Meccas of comedy. And he's like, well, if you can do it over there, you can do it anywhere. And I was like interested because I had already started improv. I was already doing like hip hop shows, like rapping and whatnot. But Fletch did some of my videos, and we had lost contact after high school, and we found each other. Oh, that sounds so nice. We found each other.
You got to first tell them of how we met. How you was drowning in the pool.
I was not drowning in no pool.
You were like, blah, blah, blah. Chris over here trying to be a lifeguard. Didn't even know how to swim.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know we was airing out each other's stuff on the show.
I thought we were going for the intro.
That's an in-person crack, a joke, fun that you want to make. No. Go ahead.
This is the beginning when you were like, oh, what should I not say and what should we not?
I said, what should I not say for you? Not what should you not say for me. I didn't think you were going to bring that up. Now I got to let the whole world know I was going to be a lifeguard.
Honestly, I find it's one of the funniest stories to me, though. Honestly, all those stories are funny. How you end up. I let you cut my hair in the dark bathroom.
Well, explain that. Pause and explain that. Pause and explain that. All right. We become lifeguards. First off, I wasn't drowning. I just had to pull up someone who they claim that there is no weight underwater when there clearly was.
Yeah,
okay.
He was a couple pounds.
Listen, I passed the exam. That's it. At the end of the day, I got to be the lifeguard. I got paid at an early age, some decent money, right?
Yeah.
To help others. Let's first put that out there. Yes. Did I want to be a barber around that age and I was cutting hair? Yes. So I did it part-time after we would work. And he was like, man, I need a haircut. Okay, cool. $5. I made half of my living in high school, cutting hair, drawing stuff, selling mixtapes. I go to Sanford Flea Market and selling $5 a pop. I used to sell candy, bro.
Yeah. See, my whole thing was more like tech, so like CDs for sure. Freaking LimeWire, Kazaa back in the day, going to school with like paper, being like, yo, what songs you want? Check off the song you want. I'm gonna make this CD. My uncle's the one who put me out. Shout out to A-Rock. Yeah, but he put me onto that. I remember he had like, honestly, I'll never forget, like going over his house, man. It was like, dude, like CDs scattered all over the floor. Freaking Outkast, Missy Elliott, Ludacris, Wayne, like just.
Which Wayne? This is
the Carter.
The Carter. Okay, so but he had the mixtapes.
Nah, because you remember, like this is before mixtapes.
I was giving the streets what they needed. I gave them the mixtapes.
This is before the mixtapes. No, but listen. This is when people wasn't buying like albums. You know what I mean? Nobody was going to Best Buy and buying albums. Like my uncle was like Best Buy every Thursday. New music used to drop on Thursday. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, albums used to drop on Thursday.
So you used to sell those at school too?
Yeah. And then my next thing was like phones, like jailbreaking phones, jailbreaking iPods.
You sure you want to say this? You gonna air yourself out too?
Oh yeah, man. Honestly, the kids who was jailbreaking those stuff are the kids who was creating like the cryptocurrency right now. So, you know what I mean?
They making NFTs and stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
Like if your MySpace was not hooked up back in the day,
we could tell who was successful by the glitter going scrolling down.
Right. The Matrix glitter.
That was the coolest thing. I was like, ooh, and I could put a song right here.
Bro, the song was going. Like you was like, this is me. Y'all had any questions of who I am? Go on my MySpace.
And people used to get so mad. Oh, I'm not on your top 8. Oh, I'm not in your top.
It was a whole thing.
You knew someone was mad at somebody when they split. It was just like you was top 2, and then you went back to the bottom.
Yeah.
Ooh, they got in the fight.
Phasing you out slowly. Yeah. But no, man, honestly, like it just, I was thinking about it the other day, it just showed me, just thinking back on it, like doing all those things, like, building, like when I first moved to LA, like all of us, it's hard to make that first LA dollar. Like, you know what I mean? It may not come, like if you're lucky, yeah, you get out here, make that dollar, like your first week, well, boom, 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 cool. But some people don't get it until, 3 months, a year, whatever. Luckily, fortunate enough, like when I left Florida, Orlando, I was building websites and I was
you built my website for my sketch comedy series that we filmed.
Yep, I was building a couple websites. A couple people was literally like, I'm in LA, and this is way before COVID. This is way before people are working at home, all this stuff. But I'm in LA on shouts out to George Abreu, R.I.P. But on his couch, and I'm here fucking doing websites, and literally like people was still contacting me when I was in LA to do jobs in Orlando. So before I left, I made like all my like school, all my homies like who was filming with me, I made them all get like the little squares. So I was like, yo, everybody get a square, attach all the squares to my account. And then when I got the job, I'll just text them. I'll be like, yo, there's a job, woo, blah, 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 wherever. They'll go there. The person swipe their card. I got paid. And then I broke them off. So, yeah, I mean,
and I think that's what I mean, to like time that in, right? Where it's like, that's why you got your hustle. And I think that's when someone's able to take the falls of a hustle at an early age, like selling those things. It could be anything. It could be lemonade. But the fallback that it takes, you need on a higher level when you're reaching for something, especially in a place like LA where it's, mostly entertainment.
Right, yeah. Entertainment and just like, entrepreneurship. Like that's really what we were. We were, if you notice, it was a handful of kids that were doing that. Not everybody was like, coming to, oh, let me get that job right or whatever, like nerds, whatever. Well, I can't remember what we had, airheads and stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's a great point. Fallbacks, right? You got to come back, fall back, and I think that's what we've been living in the pandemic. And also, there are a couple other people who have had some fallbacks, and let's grade these fallbacks. It's something that we're able to grade, and these are some of the funniest to some of the worst to some of the craziest tattoos or fallbacks. Steve, hit me. Look at this.
Yo, but that's actually fire.
It's creative, right?
It's creative, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, even sometimes, like he can trim up the stash a little bit, but that is fire, bro. That is fire. Like, honestly, that's the type of tattoos I'm looking to get. Cause like regular tattoos now, they're just like, but I would do something on my head where that is fire, bro. That's fire. It's weird, but it's fire. Your mic. I don't hear you. Where's your mic?
It's all done well. My bad. I got so excited. I hit the mute button. I got so... It's done well. Like, look at all these lines. The hairline. The little... Whoever also cut his hair was doing good, too. Because they faded this.
Oh, shit. That is true. So is your barber also your tattoo artist? Because I feel like...
Did I do this?
Like, right, that's what I'm saying. Because I feel like you got to be like, yo, give this other dude a fade as well, and then fade me. So it's like two here, and then you got to do the mustache. So you got a head in the front and a face, like,
Yep. Listen, you can also change up the hairstyles too. He can have long hair. He can have a beard.
Yeah, you can shave that. Yo, that is dope. That is dope.
We give it an A+.
I give it an A++. That's creative and fire.
There was another tattoo that was sort of like that, but it was just too creepy. It didn't look like this specific one. It had like bug eyes.
Yeah, I've never seen that one before. That was dope. I like that.
Next one.
I'm into random stuff.
How random,
trash.
Bro.
That's pretty trash. And the problem is, Like, do you see on the Mario one? She has like a crater on the side of her foot.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want. Yeah, that is correct. So that is technically, a part of their reasoning, I'm sure, of getting something on the bottom of their foot. You know what I'm saying? So respect to that. I don't ever want to.
Your foot unless you're holding it up to the camera like that.
I mean, first off, it's really painful down there. So the bottom of the foot, the bottom of the hands, that stuff is painful. Yeah. So it's just like, ooh, okay. And it's like you can't do so much detailed things on the bottom of the foot. So if we're going by creativity,
okay,
right?
These aren't the same foot. They don't belong to the same.
No. One's a left foot, one's a right foot.
No, I know. We both have one left and one right.
Correct.
What I'm saying is they're not. I could have said if you said one was a left and one like it was two left feet, but you were like, okay, whatever.
This is not the other person's other foot?
Huh?
I thought it was. I thought it was the other person's other foot.
No, I don't think so. Because one is, or maybe, I don't know. I feel like one foot is a little like, they look like two different feet.
Nah, just one could be a little bit swollen. And I don't want to disrespect that person in their struggle of whatever it is that they're going through. So
what about a couple and one got one side and the other got the other side?
See, and that's more meaningful, right? Thank you, Steve. From Oye Dimelo. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, listen, it's solid. I'll tell you that. They packed that red and green.
Better, though.
For sure.
It's, I guess because of the spacing.
So, with skin, bro, different parts of the skin are so much harder to tattoo than the others. Like this back piece, I hate. Back here, not only does it hurt really bad, right? But it also is just that loose skin. That's usually where stretch marks are.
Yeah, man, you don't get no sunlight down here either, so it's all soft and like, like soft meat. Like, it ain't getting.
What was your first tattoo?
Huh?
What was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo, I think I got on my 18th birthday at the Magic Mall.
No. For those that don't know, the Magic Mall is like the hood version of actual mall.
Yeah, it's like
We also had J Mart, where I got my grill from.
Got a grill from J Mart. But no, I think this one is my first tat, the Trust God.
Okay.
Yeah, got that because I think they did like free tattoos on your birthday when you turned 18 or something like that. So went up to J Mart.
Oh, J Mart.
At Magic Mall. I met at Magic Mall. So I went up to Magic Mall and who did I go with? Probably went with K-Twan, maybe. You know what I mean? And like
shout out to K-Twan.
Right. Shout out to K-Twan.
What's his website?
That's
shout him out.
Melanin Rainbow. This who you should probably bring up on here next too.
Hey, absolutely. Would love to have him.
Yeah.
So I can't believe. Okay, I mean, respect. You got it there. Did it hurt? Did you squeal? Did you go with friend?
No, I don't really remember that. I don't remember the pain from that one. I just remember the studio and everything, like the parlor. I don't know what y'all call them. Parlors.
Yeah,
right?
Depends on the place. Most of the time, the old school ones are called parlors. Then people call it shops. Then fancy people call it studios. So it just depends.
Yeah, it's however you brand it. But I remember.
I gotta make the tattoo theater. That's what.
Yeah.
You need to rehearse a monologue before you even get in the chair.
The tattoo theater. Yeah. I think I got two. I don't remember if I think I got two that day because I got one on my back too. But I don't remember if I got it in that same day or if I got it like at another time. But
it might have been another time. Usually people don't.
I think it was. It's true. Yeah.
They have, but
I think all I got was this the first time, and I was like, all right, cool.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, my first tat. I got like a guy to do like a musical kind of tribal. So it was like a treble cleft sort of on a tribal. It was a dumb idea.
I do remember. I remember when you got that covered. When did you get this piece?
Probably I got a lot of stuff before we went to LA. So I got Danny Wells. Shout out to Stigma.
I think you did that before we went to LA.
Yeah, so it's all like biomechanical now, and so
I think you did that right before we came out here. Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was trying to get most of my stuff done, like chest, arm, just trying to. I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna be back. So
right, yeah, chill.
Well, on that note, I know you're probably hungry, guys. Fletch was extremely hungry before he got on this show. If he airs me out, I'm gonna air him out too. He's gonna need to take a little quick lunch break while y'all take a commercial break. I'll see y'all back on Beyond the Pain. Yeah. Hold up. I need you to check out my art.
Wind up sur le dembo. Lego. Tu vas danser sur le dembo. Vamos bébé sur le rythme. Tu m'appelles Chico Papito en pensant que je suis dominicano. Comme Mona Lisa, tes yeux sont peligrosa. Hey, na 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 na, oh na 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 na, hey na 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 na, oh na 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 na. Tu vas danser sur le dembo, pull up DJ
This is Ruben Mentive. I am the host of La Lista, a Latinx writers podcast.
¿Cuánto te trepan pantalones o te quepa, boricua pura?
What's going on, y'all? My name is Monica Marquez, aka Momo from Momo on the Move. Come check out The Hustle on all listening platforms and visually through YouTube.
What's up, y'all? Fletch, you got your bites in?
Yeah. Oh, hold on, my bad. I gotta do that again. I gotta walk in.
Okay, everyone back to square one. No, let's run it back. I'll run it back. You run it back.
All right.
Welcome back to Beyond the Pain. It's Chris Trovador with my homie Fletch Power. Tell me about this extra title that's in your name here for those that can't see.
Oh, Sachitori Ijidori.
Yeah, what's that about?
I don't know, it's just some random monocular. You know, I never use my real name anywhere. I think I'm just like, you know, sketched out about the internet, you know. So, but yeah.
Why that specific name?
Well, the first part, Sachitori, he's just like he's a anime character, and I don't know, something about him, like every time you see him, he's always like super fresh, clean, finesse, and then Ichiadori, his character is like more of like a goofy, like kind of like Goku, but super strong, but like, you know, real like silly.
What anime is this specifically?
This is Jujutsu Kaisen, or the I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce the last part.
Okay, dope, man. Love that. I've been definitely during the pandemic been doing my, I guess, anime graphic novel hunts. This new one I got that is very funny. They're not paying. Let me put that. But I just want to tell you about The Way of the House Husband. If you ain't seen it, bro, it's on Netflix. Or read it too. It is hilarious. It's a dude who basically gets out of the Yakuza and he changed his life to be a house husband. But he still has those tendencies. So, you know, it could be like the mafia style, but he's just trying to cook you some vegetables. Got the veggies, you know, whatever.
Right. No, that's cool. That's dope. That's dope.
I've been doing a lot of that.
Yeah, there's a couple good ones, and just, you know, like the silliness about them. And then I've been watching a lot of you know, mainly I've just been kind of like more into like foreign films, watching older things, because, you know, like throughout the pandemic, it's like once you watch every new thing, then it's like, okay, what else are you gonna watch? You know what I mean?
Bro,
yeah, like,
I've been watching Korean dramas.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I've been watching Itaewon Class. I don't know if you've seen it. Bro, that's pretty fire. And the differences in the way they make films in comparison to the films that we make over here.
Right,
why not peep
like
game?
If you forget your Bong Joon-ho, like his films, I know like a lot of people seen Parasite, but then also if you go back and look at some of his older stuff, Memories of a Murder, crazy, bro, like crazy, like how you can have like so much tension and pain and still like humor, you know, which goes back to a lot of the animes, like they like people are getting like sliced open to death, and then like you have something like so goofy and silly happening, and it's all like in the same screen and happening at the same time.
Let me ask you a question. Well, you're Caribbean. Your family's from Trinidad, right?
Trinidad and Grenada. Yep.
How is that influence? Like, for example, like people didn't understand me when I watched anime, for example, or read manga books. You know, it definitely, as you know, Afro-Latino just in general in the society, you don't see many people reading those kinds of things or being a part of those kinds of groups. Was that a catalyst or something that gave you a different perspective growing up?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say I grew up watching or reading anime, comic books, and that type of stuff, because I didn't. But I'm a product of Saturday morning cartoons. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm a product of. And, you know, growing up, from Batman to, you know, Batman Beyond, Ninja Turtles, Sonic,
Dexter's Lab.
Like, you know, like it's just like that's what raised me and that's what I grew up on. And you know, I feel like that's why, you know, now as an older adult, I'm able to more like get into it and stuff. Because like, you know, I love animation, period. But what kind of, you know, steered me away was just because I was like, you know, you know, the language difference.
Sure.
But the action is there. Like, you know, I'm like, especially now with this new HBO Max, like they're not, you know,
HBO Max got everything. They ain't paying. They'll be calling them.
That's what I'm saying. The Obo Max. But nah, man, they got.
I just think it. You know, I bring that up simply because I feel that it influenced the person who I am. You know, especially with tattoos and being able to do those specific kind of tattoos. Like if I got to do, you know, an anime tattoo, a Dragon Ball Z tattoo, a Bleach tattoo, whatever. I think it definitely gives me an advantage in these certain groups that not one. Like specific minorities don't necessarily go to, or you know, now they do. You know what I'm saying? Like there's groups, there's, you know, Afro punk comics and different things. Like I think it's beautiful, you know, and I'm just wondering if that influence, which it sounds like it has, when you're doing your cinematography. I only bring that up because like when I went to do comedy in LA, you went to work at Panavision.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, I would say less in like now, as in, you know, like I said, I've been going back and just watching everything, and I'm like, it's just like re-waking, you know, just like all that stuff that was there when you were younger, but you didn't really know, you didn't have the definitions and the terms for it. Sure. So now I go back and I look like through all those cartoons, like one major thing that picked out, like framing, you know, composition. Like that was what cartoons was big on. Like, especially like one like Samurai Jack. Like that used to be like and it was like, you know,
and it was like, flat. It was a flat kind of style that you didn't see with all the other cartoons.
Right. See, and that's something that I'm not really looking. I am kind of more, I'm looking at, and now, even now, I'm looking at like lighting, framing, and just like composition. Like those cartoons are, you know, they're amazing at that. And that's what I was also saying. Like, oh, go ahead.
Continue. No, go ahead.
No, also like older movies, like older films. Like, I just watched, and I've seen it. Like I remember my one of my uncles showed it to me like a while, like forever ago. But you know, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like I'm not reading these subtitles when I'm like 11. Like, you know, I'm just like, what? But Seven Samurai, like that one was pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
you know?
I think all those definitely inspire, and I bring that up with the intention to talk about that life, that perspective in cinematography, because I also went to film school for a short amount of time, and I remember back in my childhood looking at like specific manga books, and you see the composition and learning it that way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like you learn the specific angles, you learn the specific ideas, and you know, you really try to like emulate that with one's work. At least you try to, you know, with your own stuff. And for tattoos, bro, I have to angle a specific. I think that we went a few times doing your Erykah Badu tattoo, just to angle it right, if you remember. Mm-hmm. And the camera, because the camera is at the top of, he has a pyramid with a camera at the very top, and that had to be angled correctly with your deltoid.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's exactly, you know, as a cinematographer, you know, hopefully if you get the chance, you know, you know, they put you in a spot, and you know, if you have a bigger budget, yeah, you get time to figure it out and stuff like that. But sometimes, you know, you get to a location and they're like, okay, make this empty place look good.
And you get a sack of money, and they say,
right.
Go ahead.
I'm saying, if you get a sack of money, that's easy. Like, say less.
But you got to be ready. You have to have the practice.
Sure.
You have to be down to the moment. It's preparation meets being lucky, right? Opportunity. Preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah. Timing. Yeah.
Timing. And that's all it is. But if you don't have the practice, if I didn't spend countless hours, my mom was the person who put like clowns into my psyche, or like there was clowns all over the crib. I remember one time you got scared. You're like, what are all these masks?
I remember that. I was like, I didn't really clowns like that, but hey,
yeah. So the idea of these perspectives, going to the movies, the dollar store movies, and just spending time technically studying. So those hours with the pencil, drawing and whatnot, getting down to it, and you're practicing visually with the composition for the cartoons or whatever it was you were watching. So I think that's really dope. And tell me what happened. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, so to move on from that, your career, your journey, you started going to Panavision. What, you were working there for how long? And then tell me the endeavors you had in between, the falls, whatever you want to talk about.
Journey. Yeah. So it's funny because before moved out to LA, before we even came out here, remember I was like, oh, I'm gonna work at Panavision.
And you had just graduated.
Yeah, just graduated, and at that time I had no contact or no connection with Panavision. All I had was I called a couple times and I spoke with the secretary. Shout out to Marcia Bryant, like she's the one who literally,
I remember.
I called so much. She was like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "Oh yeah, Fletch from Florida." Okay, yeah. And I just made that stick, Fletch from Florida. Anytime I call. And she was like, "Oh yeah, nobody's available, but yeah, cool. Call." I was doing this while I was in school. You know what I mean?
Let's recap. Hold on, right there. Let me break that down because I know you. But the other side of people don't know you. You're a student. You haven't gotten any job opportunity. You simply have a phone number that you Googled, and you're calling the place.
Pretty much, yeah.
Look how nonchalant you is. Yeah, bro, that takes a lot of guts to technically harass. No, you're not harassing, but you're checking in and trying to make a friend.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And that's the only reason why why we came to LA. Like, why? Because literally, this dude came to the class. Because I remember before this, I was like, yeah, fuck it. I was like, bump LA. I don't want to do LA. LA is for the birds. Like, I don't want to deal with all those fake people out there. Blah, blah, blah. The normal. Woo. And then this dude came to the class. He was like, hey, if you want to blah, 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 make it in LA and the camera team. If you want to make it a camera team, he was like, if you want to be in LA, this is what you do. Go to LA, work at a camera rental house, and then, work your way from there. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, say less. That day, Googled camera rental houses in LA. First two that came up, top two, was Airy and Panavision. I called them. Yeah, I called Airy, and Airy was just like, it was an automated message, and you had to speak to operator, and I just couldn't get through. Called Panavision, boom, spoke directly to Marcia Bryant, and it was just like, you know what I mean? She's warming and inviting, and we just started chopping it up. Obviously, the first time it was just like, all right, yeah, nah, blah, blah, blah. And then, long story short, did that enough times that, they, this is another funny one. They invited, what I thought was an interview. Clarify, because deep down you knew it wasn't an interview. Listen.
Okay, and so he pulls the stunt and said, Chris, I got an interview. You gotta come to LA with me. I'm like, bro, I want to do comedy. I want to do improv. I had just started, graduated my classes. And we linked up because he wanted a tattoo, and I paid him in tattoos to film my projects.
Yeah, when I came back to Florida, because I came back to Florida, and I was living in DC, left Orlando, right after.
Don't confuse the people. Don't confuse the people now. You're jumping timelines now.
No, I know, but because you took me back too, and I'm like, oh yeah,
my bad.
Okay, just to get you back up, yes.
Yeah. So you're in school. You meet up with me.
Meet back up with Chris because remember we met up in high school.
Correct.
Then went our separate ways. Was
correct.
Like 5, 6
I became a tattoo artist. He became a cinematographer in his own way, and then went to school for. Then I'm already an established tattoo artist. I need someone to film my rap videos because I thought I was gonna be a tattoo artist rapper. Woohoo! No, but I was nice, but it didn't work out for its own reason. I'm a lot funnier than I am a rapper, right? And that's okay. I figured it out. That's right. That same skill helps us for shows. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So I have no problem with saying these things, and so I find it real funny that having the inclination of okay, I'm going to film these sketches. You be the cinematographer and co-director, and we're because I didn't know what I was doing, and I only put myself in those. Though I hadn't gone for film school yet, and I put myself in these projects because no one else was going to put me. And I was like, well, this improv, theater doesn't, I didn't get the audition. What else is there in this city to do? And I was like, all right, well, we're going to film it. And I pulled my strings of, I'll tattoo you if you're my audio guy. I'll tattoo you if you're my assistant director or my cinematographer. Or if we need this space for this pizza place, hey, buddy, you remember me? I tattooed your wife. And boom, we got the entire upstairs floor and the back on a random notice. And
imagine getting some shit like that in LA right now. Like
impossible for a tattoo. Well, you'd have to find something.
Yeah. And honestly, that's one thing I feel like we learned pretty quickly. It's like, oh, you have a trade or a skill, and you can barter, you can trade. And it's not always about money. It's also services. Like people trade for services. And I feel like that's, that in some cases can be worth more than money sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's like the location clearly isn't nothing. For example, COVID and the pandemic, if you didn't have that trade or whatnot, then your industry has just crumbled.
Right, yeah.
And what do you do?
For sure. Yeah.
So, getting back up, taking that. And so when you were doing Panavision, what were the side hustles? Now we're in LA, you're working at Panavision, you got the gig because you were persistent. Were you doing side projects?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Honestly, one of the best things about Panavision, shout out Panavision, I learned a lot there. It was literally like...
Talk to us about what Panavision is for those that don't speak film.
Right. So Panavision is a camera rental house, cinema camera rental house. So for big budget films, and like commercials, features, like pretty much of all those type of categories. So what movies did you see recently? King Kong,
anything. Transformers,
Comeback, Transformers, Jaws, Star Wars, the original, like all Panavision cameras.
They pull in weight in the film game is basically what he's saying.
Yeah. So from there I had a lot of access and met a lot of great people, and I feel like that kind of gave me like a little like edge early. The best thing about them, like I was able to rent, or like if you work there, you're obviously able to use the gear. So that was a major like asset. And as I did that, I was just like shooting projects. And, once again, that's like in school, but with top tier gear, with shooting with Area Alexas and Panavision Primos and, like 4x 5 matte glasses, 4x4 matte glasses. Just like all the tool, all the fizzes. We have like everything.
I got you. Yeah.
But one thing I did learn from that was because we had everything at our disposal, and this showed me something that I feel like, you got to learn at some point, and I learned it there. Because you have all the toys in the toy store, you just bring every toy, and you may not need every toy. You know what I mean? You may not need all that. And sometimes bringing all that stuff slows you down rather than if you just had what you needed. And this is why sometimes
the hunger sometimes is a struggle.
Well, yeah, like, or just even like the like less is more, like just, creativity comes from the lack of, so, but the good thing about it showed me, like, I learned a lot. And once again, Panavision was a whole learning experience, moved up through there, traveled with them, took me all over, the world, literally, stayed in some of the nicest hotels, which was all fun and dope. But the thing was, I was kind of like getting a little comfortable, and this is like cinematography, my dream, where I came out here, and then this was me, just because I was getting, money was good, life was good, like.
And it takes sometimes that when you get comfortable, you get complacent, then you need to reevaluate after a while, because I have been there. For example, I get comfortable with tattoo money, and I'm just chilling, and I don't want to pursue the real goals. And it's not like I love tattooing, what I'm saying? I also love to make people laugh. I also love to act a fool. And if I can get paid for it, shit, why not? So it's more of, getting uncomfortable is necessary. It's necessary to the process. The fall downs are the fall. The fall backs are the process.
You have to be uncomfortable, man. And honestly, so just, so as I was saying, as I was splitting away, I started like fighting within myself. And I could tell I wasn't happy where I was, because now I was like doing other things. I was doing more like engineering, because I pretty much like moved so far up. Like I kept moving up in the company that like I pretty much passed the ceiling of like cameras and stuff. And it was like, but wait, like I came here to work with cameras, not to do freaking like what was it, like Google assets and just like network sharing and I wasn't here to do that, so I started fighting within myself. Long story short, pretty much I had to start back over. And
and you found yourself and you started finding other projects, and you actually have done a bunch of cool stuff recently, right? We say recently, you've been always doing cool stuff, but I'm saying more than recently, like
more cooler, I guess.
More cooler, at least on a popular people realm, right?
Yeah.
So tell us some things that you have been able to since your departure from the company, and what have you been able to work on for yourself?
What have I been working on for myself? So right now I've been doing a lot of like self-producing as well as cinematography, because another thing that I saw is like, oh, you get certain places and you're like, oh yeah, DP is has all this control. And then you're like, no, you don't. There's still somebody above him. Who's that person above him? Producer. So, at the end of the day, it's like you could be doing all this work and you might not, well, that's a whole other story. But yeah,
And I was I don't want you, to don't get caught up where it's just, I understand, because I'll get caught up in certain like feelings, because when you're really going through that, you can't really fake it. And I know you're usually behind the camera, so it's just more of just like, how does one adapt, right? We're big fans of the TV show Warrior. How does one adapt like water and continue coming back from the fallbacks? and rearranging yourself. When you get too comfortable, you have to arrange yourself to something else, and you have to morph into the bottle or into the cup or into wherever, constantly changing for yourself. And as long as you're happy, I think it doesn't matter if you have the gear or you don't. You use what's here in front of you, and if it makes you happy, it makes you happy.
Yeah, no, that's real, and that also, put it in perspective a lot with just people being like, oh, I gotta have all these awards and Oscar and all that stuff. Is like, if that's what you want, fine, but you know what I mean.
It'll come to you if it's meant for you.
Yeah, if that's what happens. But I feel like aiming for that stuff, like that's never been something I've never. It's just funny because since I came to LA, and this is something I had to figure out as well. I started more thinking about like awards and Oscar, because that's conversation. But in Florida and nobody's talking about that, so you don't care about that stuff. You're just doing this because this is what you want to do, and you have a message and you want to get that message out. So just getting back to just getting back to all those things. But some projects that I have been working on, just to get back to that. So I self-produced a Sprite commercial, which was a spec. That we shot from start to finish. So my game plan right now is to shoot a couple self-produced commercials, and then package that, and then get those in front of a couple commercial production companies, and sell myself as a commercial DP to get some representation. So right now I have a North Face one that created the concept from start to finish. I have a Sprite one that myself and a group of other people, PD Pete was on that. And also, yeah, it's right here. The Sprite remix one. But yeah, also, and Solemn and a couple other friends, they helped do that. And and pretty much like we produced it, put the money in, we cast it, everything, start to finish. And then we also have another one coming up, which we're shooting in the next couple weeks. I met some good people, and shout out to Kevin Chung, brought me on, and I was able to work on a Snapchat show with where we is Sway Meets World with Sway Lee. Shouts out to Sway Lee. One thing I would say about that dude, every time he came on set, he said what up to everybody. And he's always on. Like, you know what I mean? Some people, or at least when he needs to be on, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
So
to I guess go full circle with this, right? This journey. You initially came to me for a tattoo. And it was sort of the meaning, as from what I gathered from it, that it was about this. Tell us about your specific tattoo that I did with you, that's the one that's on your shoulder, and what it represents to you and stuff like that, so that people know, why the hell we on this podcast other than listen to two friends chit chat.
Well, I got to now jump back into, a mindset 10 years ago. But at that time, my whole concept was it's funny that I actually do remember this, which is good. Was the camera was the all-seeing eye. And honestly, I probably should go back to, honestly, that's the funny thing about it. Like recently, just because, I've been working for other people, for Panavision and other people for the past, like I've been here for 6-7 years now. Mm-hmm. And literally like I'm like, when I was in school, I wasn't working for anybody. I was pretty much like working for myself. So I was always in my head. And I was just like coming out with different stuff and different concepts, and and I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, because that's what we all do. No. But you're not working for somebody else; you're working for yourself.
For sure.
You're able to create and produce whatever you want, be it music, art, blah blah blah.
Tattoo show, I get it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever. So with that, I lost my train of thought.
My bad. Sometimes I gotta.
What was I saying? I remember what I was saying. But yeah, okay. So pretty much
the tattoo.
Right. So I'm going back to what brought me to LA, what got me the job at Panavision. I'm just trying to like tap back into those things because I became comfortable out here, and I became, used to just doing things how I've been seeing other people doing it recently, but now I'm like, oh shoot, like I obviously was doing something right if that got me this far. So going back to that. So back to the tattoo at that time, it was the camera, the all-seeing eye, and pretty much it was just like the all-seeing camera. Like the camera was, pretty much watching everything, which is exactly what's happening right now. Like there's a camera everywhere watching.
And why on the pyramid?
At that time, I had just came back from DC, and I was on this like very, like conscious, like woke, thing, and like like pro-black, and I just read Malcolm X, from top to bottom, and read Frederick Doug, and I was just like in a bunch of and at that time it was just pyramid was just once again another symbol of triangle, like the strongest shape, all four, all sides are equal, and and then I put like Pharaoh, and then he had like the camera in his hand, and
Erykah Badu.
And that was just all, but yeah, it's funny. Like I said, when you go back and you think of like, oh man, like I was on some interesting stuff back then before you work for somebody else and they like turn your mind into fucking mush.
For sure. And I think it's sometimes coming back to the basics. I know I spent time during the pandemic just, drawing for fun again instead of drawing for someone else's idea. So I understand what you're saying. I got to do tattoos. I got to make it specifically to what this person wants, how they like. Yes, sometimes I'm given liberty to throw my own pizzazz on it or whatever. But a lot of times people want their specific thing. I want this little dainty thing here, or I want this big dragon, is what they want. And that's respect. That's what but when I do painting and when I draw and I do comedy, I do these things for myself. And sometimes you get lost in the money, right? You get lost in doing stuff for other people.
Yeah.
So I understand you completely
want to do it. And then the thing about it, you're like, and that's where I'm at right now, and I'm figuring it out. But yeah, I'm over. Your time is worth more than money.
Right.
As we can see that right now, like there's so many other things that's worth more than money, more than a dollar, with cryptocurrency being one of those examples. You know what I mean? So the dollar, money, somebody tells you, I'm gonna pay you $100 to do this, and Uncle Sam's gonna take 50 out of that, and like, what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like you gotta
do what makes you happy.
And that's what makes you happy. And you gotta weigh your options. You gotta know your worth, and you gotta know your time is worth more than your money. And
absolutely. Hey, cheers to that. Thank you for being on the show, homie. Fletch Power, y'all. Y'all can find him on what Instagram? This way.
At Fletch Power. Just
Fletch Power. What's your website?
FletchPowerFilms.com. Yes, sir.
And all the reels and everything we can check out on your website, correct? If we want to hire you, we just go on the website?
Yes, sir. And also, if you want to buy some shirts, that's coming soon.
Hey, same here.
Got all the gear.
All right, give me your top best shirts, your two top best shirts. I'm gonna show you also for those that see the commercials. I got two shirts as well in my closet that I'm also selling. I'm not selling the shirts in the closet. I got products on the store with Oye Dimelo Network. Y'all check them out. Shout out to Steve. Give us a quick second.
So while he going to the closet, I'm gonna pull it out. We got
sure.
We got the little TLC. No scrubs.
Ooh, the no scrubs?
No scrubs, joint.
All right. Over here. I was driving in Santa Monica or Venice, and I took this photo and I put it on a long tee, and it's kind of cool. Selling this one on the stove too. All right, go ahead.
Yo, this one's crazy. This one.
Oh, you got to give me that one. Yeah. That's the one I want.
The Dragon Ball Z. But hold on. This is not what makes it dope.
Okay.
This.
Ooh, I got something like that.
Dope.
I got one like that.
It's every tournament. It's the saga. Every tournament.
I got that. Hold on. I got this other one. This one I got at Target, and
that's dope.
I do have the purple one that has the tour as well. But hey, let me get that shirt. But also, this is my shirt you can buy in the store. Chadwick right here, R.I.P. I drew this.
Yeah.
Right there. You got more?
If we showing shirts, I end with the Mary J.
Go ahead. Ooh, the Mary J. Ooh, the Mary J. Blige. Is that the tour on the bottom or the album?
Huh?
Is that the album or the tour on the bottom?
Yeah, these are album songs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
all right. Here we go. We got that same for me. We got that same Venice picture on a different color T-shirt, on a black T-shirt, and it still look good, and you can get it on the stove.
Yup.
Okay, and we also have the Black Lives Matter one that you can get, that one of art that I did. Yup. Okay.
And then this one's already sold, but this one is kind of one of my favorites.
It's the Breakfast Club.
With all the OG characters. This one's
That's
wild.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I ran out of shirts. I have the same. Actually, I got the same photo on a mug. No. Yo, thank you so much for joining me on this show called Beyond the Pain.
For sure.
I got the green.
Oh, the camp.
Steve, the producer, came out.
Yeah, hold on. Let me. Okay, hold on. Y'all,
oh my. Okay, we gonna pull out more shirts. Is that what we doing?
we gonna show the Astro World.
Okay.
Astro World. If we really gonna sell some shirts.
Okay, we gonna sell some shirts. All right. Here is a blank black T-shirt that I got at Champs 5 for 10 or 5 for 20. Okay, no. We got Nessa. Why am I just showing my wardrobe? Here my drawers over here.
Right. Show all your best clothes. Nah, but yeah, man.
Thank you so much for joining me, man. As always, I am a fan of your journey and happy that I could have joined your journey as well out here in these streets. And tattoo you as well, man. And we'll get on a project soon, hopefully.
Oh, for sure.
I'll bring my pitch team, my pitch board. You bring your production crew, and we can make something for our city.
For sure. Well, thanks for taking this wild with me, because none of it was planned.
It's all right, man. Hey, I'm sure people enjoy. They got a free fashion show. They got gems on how to make it in LA. They got tattoo knowledge, man.
Get it.
They are honored. All my fans are honored, and I am honored to have you on the show. Y'all go follow my homeboy Fletch. I am Chris Trovador, and this is Beyond the Pain.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Oh, did you like that episode? Well, I have so much more. I have custom fashion, I have tattoos, I have comedy. Like and subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.
You got to use what you got. You know what I'm saying?